Right, nice tunes, man.
Thank you.
Times. You play super well.
Shot.
Back to the interrogation. You've obviously been around a long time, with Captain Stu, and you've been working as a professional musician for a while as well.
Yeah.
Any tips for the newbies, aspirant professional musers? What does it take?
Well, I mean, I've been asked this question before, and I think my biggest piece of advice to up and coming musicians or aspiring musicians is to go out and watch as much music as you can. You find a lot of bands that exist like in the local scene. You only ever see them at their own shows. You don't see them at other people's shows,
That's true.
I think it's important to, A, support each other, and B, pick up as much as you can from actually watching bands that you enjoy. I mean, even if they are international acts, like, they have a lot to teach us. Like, as far as just interaction with the crowd's concerned and, just general kind of energy on stage. I mean, you don't have to go crazy, but you just have to kind of look like you're having a good time, and then that's already like 70% of the job done,
Exactly.
So yeah, I mean, my biggest piece of advice is to just like, stick at it, and it is frustrating and stuff, but you got to just, wait until someone notices you.
Exactly. Just keep plugging away and get it done, Cool. Then on that note, any interesting gig stories? Who's been the dirtiest groupie? People cringe.
I've got like the coolest memories of like being on the road with Captain Stu, and we've been very lucky in like the friends we've made around the country and the kind of parties that we've found ourselves at because of those kind of people that we've made friends with. I mean, in Durban, the City Ball Misers and the Sibling Rivalry, those are bands that we grew up with in our careers, and then in Cape Town we got Hog Oggity Hog, obviously, and the Rudimentals and Seventh Son, who all kind of took us under their wing when we started with Captain Stu. And then in Joburg, Fuzzy Gish, and then recently we've become really tight with the guys, some kind of like Isochronous, Tidal Waves, and Naming James as well. So the story is, I mean, most of what happens around the country is very hazy, It's like, I don't want to say too much, but because some of it is a bit like incriminating, yeah. But we've always had a good time, and we're not shy to party, and I'm still not. I'm here by myself on holiday, not on tour, So last night I found myself playing a gig at Arcade Empire, and then land back at Leighton. I don't know if you guys have ever met him before. He's the drummer from Rammering Bones and Naming James, and sitting in his kind of jacuzzi pool thing, drinking beers, and it was, I'm here to enjoy myself, not to work.
Live the good life.
Yeah.
Man. Definitely. And then something we always ask everybody who we get on the show, we need your dirtiest joke.
Oof.
Preferably the dirtier the better. We don't discriminate. It's got to be at least a little filthy.
You're lucky. I've got a decent repertoire, so I've got the most difficult thing is for me to pick which one's appropriate to tell.
There are no such things
appropriate.
Yeah.
At all.
All right.
We don't adhere to any standards.
All right, I'll tell you one.
If you're under 18, we don't care.
And what's the worst part about eating a vegetable?
No.
The wheelchair.
So wrong, but so wrong.
Yeah.
Very, very wrong.
It's up there.
And tell us all about the House of Pain. What's that all about?
Yeah, myself and Rake, the drummer from Captain Stu, used to live together in Kenilworth in Cape Town, and then Captain Stu went on tour to Australia, and while we were there, he decided that he was going to lease his house out because it was in his name. He was going to lease it out because someone had made a good offer. So it all happened very quickly and stuff, and basically when we came back from Australia we didn't have a place to stay, and we were trawling Gumtree every day trying to find somewhere, and eventually this house popped up, and it kind of didn't have an address or anything. So we landed up going to meet the landlord at the nearest petrol station, and he drove us up into Newlands Forest, which is kind of it's middle of suburbia. It's start of southern suburbs near UCT, and I've lived in Cape Town my entire life, and I've driven past there countless times and not even thought that there would be houses in the forest, So we met him there, and he showed us around. And on the spot, we were we love it, it has a garage that could probably fit about 6 cars, so we could have jams in there and stuff. No neighbors, big garden for our dogs and stuff, and we're just like on the bonnet of his car, signed the lease, and we're like, we're moving in tomorrow kind of thing. So myself, Rake, and Ryan, who also plays for Captain Stu, the three of us, and then another friend of ours named Tom, and we've been living there for almost, like 3 and a bit years now. And over the years, so many different musicians from around the country have come and lived with us or stayed with us, and it's just kind of become this little Cape Town institution of party, you know. And it's a train station for bands. I mean, we've got like so many O's pulling in all the time, and just sleeping on our couches and crashing on the floor, and you know, destroying our garden, and like we just like it's very cool, man. It's a lot of fun.
Nice. What's the address?
We don't have I shit you not, we do not have an address.
Nice.
It's a nightmare to like order a pizza or to like get a taxi to fetch you, or you know, to get internet installed took us like 8 months, like because they just couldn't figure out where we were, and yeah, it's just like this really fun house, you know.
Nice.
Really cool.
It's quite interesting. You tell it like that. It makes me think about the kind of older punk scene, like when you.
Yeah, but it's not really a squat, you know. It's like it's a house.
You watch the old documentaries about like the kind of early Seattle scene.
Yeah.
All the same kind of punk bands, and all they sort of look after each other and live in each other's houses. They sort of tour.
No, I mean those kind of
the
places still
country
exist. You know, they exist in Cape Town. I've been to a few in Joburg, and I've been to 1 or 2 in Durban as well. These kind of just like they're called squats. They just this like shared living space, and it's a mess. But I mean, like you have a good time. You know, everyone's very passionate and like involved in the live music scene. And when you find yourself at one of those parties, they're like, you know, you've been invited, and it's really cool. It's fun, you know.
Nice, man. I'm sure a lot of writing and creativity.
Yeah, like just so much jamming, man. I mean, like even this last weekend, I sat with Frank Turner, one of these guys I look up to, sitting in someone's lounge, drinking a beer, playing guitar, and singing like Against Me covers, and like other folk punk bands that we listen to, like NoFX. We were playing like some of their songs. You know, it's just like a cool community of like this kind of like punk ethos and stuff. It's very cool.
Well, it's cool. Good to hear, man. Sweet. I think then we'll probably leave it on that. Thanks for making the mission
Thanks for
through.
inviting me.
Sure.
Nice to have you on the show, man.
Sweet.
Good luck for everything moving forward.